Yes, guys. Yes, guys. How's everyone? How's everyone? How's everyone doing today? So, get into it. West Ham. So there's this whole thing going around about will they be at their best? Will they perform at their best? Will they try their best given the situation that they've just won in Europe and they're in a European final? The players are celebrating. Will they come to Leeds? Will they go to West Ham against Leeds and play it 100%? Will they go 50-50 in tackles? Will they risk anything given that they could be playing in a final? And Sam obviously mentioned in his press conference that there is complacency that can set in. There is a mindset that subconsciously you've always got that in the back of your head. So obviously you want that to happen. You want the players to want play in the final. You don't want them to be focusing on this so much. And when you take into it that they're basically safe, maybe the players will then not risk everything, right? Will not risk everything for every single moment of that game. But the issue for me is the other side of that. They've just got into a final in Europe. They're going to be extremely confident. They're going to be very confident. Just got to final in Europe. Your confidence is going to go through the roof. You're going to hit a new level. The players now going to the last game of the season at home with the fans. They can really celebrate with the fans. So they're going to see this as a no pressure kind of situation. Nothing to play for, really, apart from pleasing the fans. And it could be Declan Rice's last game. So it could work both ways. They could be really motivated to get a result just based on the fact that this is their last game at home this season. And Declan Rice could be his last game for the club at home. These little aspects come into it. With the lack of pressure now, they could play with freedom. We saw it. We did it against Derby when we already won the league. We came in half cut against Derby and we battered them. You know, that can really help in football. But, so yeah, that's an interesting aspect for me. It's how they decide to turn up. But what we have to do as a team and as Leeds United is focus on ourselves and do what we do. Right? We have to focus on ourselves. That's vital. We have to do what we do. We have to do the bits we can do better. Like Sam said, stop them individual mistakes. Because individual mistakes against Newcastle were the reason we lost that game. Little moments in the games which led to these big chances. You know, people talk about Bamford missing the penalty, but at the other end of it, you're giving away 2 penalties against Newcastle. You don't give away 2 penalties, we probably win that game. Look, we missed the penalty. They go down the other end and win a penalty. Something that didn't need to happen. The tackle didn't need to happen. It was a bad challenge from Max Weber. It didn't need to happen like that. Sam said, why you shouldn't have to tackle in the box. It could be an interception or a block. Why are you tackling in the box? You're giving someone a reason to go down. So that was interesting. And it's right about this team. It's the moments that we have, but we just let go away. We've got to be in that game with 20 minutes to go, as Sam said. We've got to be in a position to be winning that game with 20 minutes to go. Because naturally, they will tire. Given how many games they played. Naturally, they will tire. Whether another difficult situation of this game is actually we don't know their lineup. We don't know what they're going to play because of that result. We don't know if they're going to make 5 changes, 1 change, 9 changes again. We don't know that. Sam doesn't know that fully. So you could turn up and it could be completely different to what the individuals you've practiced for might not be playing. You've got to adjust quickly. You know, we've got to adjust. We have to do it. I'm talking about adjust. Sorry, I've got a cold. Talking about adjust. Junior Firpo is not in. He was asked the question, what are you going to do about Junior Firpo? And he mentioned we might change the system, we might not. So for me, the change of system would look like this. It could potentially be a back 5 with 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, 1 wing-back being Luke Ayling, the other wing-back being Jack Harrison, potentially. Just thinking about defensive, and then you've got 3 at the back, 3 midfield, because he always keeps 3 midfield, and then the 2 up top, 2 outlets up top. So if we're going to play that ball out, we have one there, we have one to win the second ball, or one running behind. It's going to be a 3 midfield, right? Sam says that. He's always keeping that 3 midfield, and it's just about adapting everything else that we have around that 3 midfield. It's going to be a 3 midfield, and that one might maybe McKennie, Oh, it's gonna be tough actually. McKennie, Forshaw if he's fit to start. Hmm, don't know actually. Now, if we do change system, Cock might go back into the back three, or he might bring Strauch in there and leave Cock. Cooper's back. Cooper is back. He said he's back in training. Is he fit? So he might bring Cooper back in, leave Strauch in that DM role as a three. Play the wing backs potentially. He might even move Strauch to left back if we don't change the system. I doubt he'll play Strauch wing back. He might be a straight left back with a back four with Cock in midfield, and just a like for like. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, anything can change. We don't know, but it's an interesting game for me, and I'm not really 1,000%. I'm more confident in the Newcastle one because I think we knew what we were coming up against in that. This we don't. We don't know their mentality, their mindset, what they're going through. We have no idea what they're going to line up like. So this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be tougher than people think, in my opinion. That's not to say we're not going to get anything from the game. Of course we can if we get it right. If we're in that game with 20 minutes to go, we can really solidify our position. Also, you got to take into that as well. Moyes made 9 changes last week against Brentford and got battered. So best believe he won't do that again. He won't do that again, I don't think. I think they're going to have a fully strong side or a close to a fully strong side who are all going to play for the badge, given it's the last home game. That's what I think. But yeah, and then talking about Adam Forshaw as well, because there's a lot of chat about Adam Forshaw. About this whole, it shows where we are as a club that Adam Forshaw's getting all the praise. I think that's completely disrespectful and wrong, in my opinion, to Adam Forshaw. You bring a player into your club to play a role and do a job. Now, the reason Adam Forshaw is being talked about like that, for me, is not anything to do with his ability. It's to do with the fact that he's always injured and his fitness. In terms of raw ability and doing their job effectively, Adam Forshaw does that very well. Every time he plays. He's not athletic. Probably not going to ping 40-yard passes, but he is very good and efficient at keeping that ball. He had more passes combined than the other two midfielders when he came on for 20 minutes the other week. Let that sink in. More successful passes, 20 minutes than the midfield. Let that sink in. As a team that struggles to keep the ball, we're terrible at maintaining the ball, maintaining possession. A player like Adam Forshaw, who is very good at maintaining possession and maintaining the ball, is vital for your midfield. And that's what Sam said. And that's not an indictment of where we are as a club. That's an indictment of how good Adam Forshaw is. People disrespect him too much. What did Marcelo Bielsa say about Adam Forshaw? If it wasn't for injuries, he'd be playing for a team in Europe, is what he said. Paraphrasing. He praised him more than most people. He said if he wasn't for his injuries, he would be in Europe right now. And I agree with him. I remember when he played for Middlesbrough, and Adam Forshaw was the best player at that club when they got relegated. He was the player of the year. He was the best player. Then we signed him. Injuries have held him back, not his ability. The fact that we're relying on him to be our best player is not our best midfielder in terms of role. It's nothing to do with his ability. It's to do with his fitness record completely. Because he has ability. I have no doubt about that. His job is so effective in this team in keeping the ball and maintaining possession as a team that is bad at that. He's good at that. And he does that better than the other midfielders do that. They are better at other things, but he's really good at his role. And if we have him fit for an entire season, I think we're a different side. So put some respect on Adam Forshaw's name. My opinion. It is what it is, isn't it? People have agendas on him. People don't like him. People link him with the old guard that he's one. He's a very good player, guys. Let's not disrespect Adam Forshaw like that. Seriously. That's what I believe anyway. Yeah, I spoke about Rutter as well. About the criticism. He said he's not played for this season. And that's the risk, isn't it? That's the risk. You sign a player like that, you either think that you're in I think the club thought they're in a position where they would not get relegated. So they brought him in, build him up, play him next year in the Premier League where he can thrive. I think that's what the idea was. But then the risk with that is we're in a position where we could get relegated and he's not playing. That's where the criticism comes in. The reason I don't speak about him that much is because I'm just going to leave him alone. I don't care about his price tag. I don't care about anything. He's a young player. If we go down and it's not good enough, we go down because we've conceded too many goals. We go down it's because we'll concede the most goals in the league. Nothing to do with being a striker in that sense. We concede even 10 less goals than we have now. We're not in the bottom three. We win more games because we don't get battered every week. We did it a few times on the Have it, but before that, we just leaked in goals. We stopped leaking in 5 to 10 goals. We'd have been better off. Look, we can talk about strikers and all that, and they're not clinical in this, but our defence isn't good enough. We scored goals. We scored a few goals. We're all right in that sense. We're mid-table in that sense. We're fine. But conceding goals were the worst in the league. That's what Sam says about the defence. We go down, it's because of the defence. As a team, making too many mistakes, conceding too many goals. It's as simple as that. Criticise him all you like. We need to find outlets. People need to find outlets to criticise people, and on criticising people, you know, I'm going to talk about it quickly. The whole Bamford stuff, sending death threats to a person, bad. Obviously, that's horrific. Sending death threats to a person that literally plays for your club. It's mental. Both are mental. But I'm trying to contextualise it in the terms of Leeds United. Talking about a guy's kid, wife, dog. Mental. And Sam said the club just up security on Bamford. Why does that need to happen? What is going on here? And then you just stop it. The keeper guessed the right way, kicked a ball, and that's what's the result of it. Really? Is that what some people are really at? And that's the thing with criticism for me. This stems from it, obviously. Like, you know, people get brave, don't they? They think, oh, I can criticise him. Then they build resentment against this person. Then they hate him so much. And they send him a message to his wife. Grow up. It's pathetic. And then the Earling stuff. Anyone outside the ground that got offended by that is a person that was massively criticising the players more than they should have. I don't mean criticising, I mean massively criticising to the point where they know that they said something wrong. I've not been to a game this season, bar 23s when they played there. Can't get tickets. I try every weekend. Can't get tickets. Right? I've not been to one. I'm not offended by that, by him saying everyone inside. I'm not offended by that. Because I know he's sticking up for his friend that's getting death threats. It's as simple as that. And problem with that at all. Literally not one. Fair play to him. Good. Because his mate, teammate, his best mates, his family, and their families will be close. He's getting death threats. What is wrong with you? And has anyone seen the thing with Woba this week as well? With the mental health awareness stuff. Him sitting down and talking to veterans. And people, I know people will be on it's just PR. It isn't PR. The cameras were in there for 5 minutes. Woba would have been there for a while. Talking about experiences that he's experienced as mental health. And this is him talking to army veterans that have been through so much. And they're sitting there having a conversation about mental health. Footballer on all this money talking to a veteran. Mental health is one thing. And it can happen to anyone, no matter who you are, where you've been from. And this is veterans respecting what this footballer is saying and listening to him. Having conversation with him. And this is what I mean about I hate the money thing. When it comes to mentality and all this, you shouldn't be happy, you shouldn't be bothered. Rubbish. Never heard so much rubbish in my life, seriously. Anyone can go through stuff. You don't know what people are going through in their mind. Don't be so thingy, because when something bad happens to someone, then you're like, oh, okay. But let's be sensible here. And I've seen Max Vogt about professional football in the Premier League talking to veterans about mental health issues. And I love it. Because everyone can go through stuff like that, regardless of stature, regardless of who you are. A lot of these lads, when they were young, they had a dream to play football. A lot of them were not brought up being 100% a footballer. A lot of them would have worked in supermarkets. A lot of them would have been bad at school. Even if they wasn't, who cares? They had a dream to be a footballer. They risked everything to do that. They forgot about easy money, easy careers that they could have done. You know, not easy, you know what I mean? Like going to university or something. They dropped everything to do this. and they've done it. And the fact that they can speak to veterans and have a conversation together shows that they know that mental health is one thing and anyone can go through that. When Luke Haling's putting a post up backing his friend who's just got death threats to his family, well, I have no problem with that at all. But yeah, a little rant on that. But going into the game, like I said, I was more confident in the Newcastle game than this, seriously. Like, they could turn up and they could be a bit, whatever. They could. They could. Sam said that. They could turn up like that. They genuinely could. They could also turn up with more than ever. Finals, they've got a bit of break to the final now. Let's see. There's a lot of aspects that this could go either way, but we need to win that game. We need to win that game. Sam mentioned it in his presser. We need to win that game. We need to alleviate their mistakes. Play the right way. Get early at West Ham. I think we need to get early at them. Get out the traps. They start games slow. Get early at them. Maybe they're not as ready straight away. Maybe the intensity isn't there straight away. Get at them. Can we get an early goal again? But this time when we get that early goal, can we solidify and not make stupid mistakes? We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited though. I'm looking forward to this genuinely. I can't wait. Football in it is what it is now. And just a quick one, shout out to the 21s as well. Watched them the other night. Oh, phenomenal. Some really good talent in there. Like, seriously, some good talent. Some serious good talent. I'm going to do a video on them at the end of the season about where I think they could go next year. Can we start them? Can we play them? Do they go on loan? Do they stay with the 21s? I'm going to do a video on that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Well, everything. Let me know what you guys think. Just to, back criticising players. Like, I know what most guys think about Bamford. I've seen it every week in the comments. Like, I know that you don't have to repeat every week. I know. Anything else like shape? What do you think we might play? Do you think we'll go with two up top? Do you think who's going to play left back? What shape do you think we'll play? Stuff like that. Like, I don't know, just interesting stuff. Because I like to have conversations. I don't just like to look at things like Bamford's rubbish and be like, well, I can't really talk about that. Like, that's your opinion, obviously. But then after that, what do you think? Just I like talking to people. That's what I do this for. Talk to people. Not just sit and read something and go, "Oh, can I talk about that?" I know I'm terrible at replying, but try. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate the support every week. Honestly, it's insane. Any comments are appreciated that are good and not straight abuse, which is very rare. But I appreciate everyone. Genuinely do. Let me know what you guys think. I've got a cold, so I'm gonna go. Can't wait for the nervous. Peace.